Clash 2025. You're on game 2 here on track 1 at the Darebin Leisure Centre, or Sports Centre I should say. Now we are coming to you, as I said, from Darebin Sports Centre, and we have two amazing teams playing this particular game. We have a Ward of the Skate, who are Western Australian Roller Derby, and they've travelled over to play with us this weekend. And we also have Dragon City, or Bendigo, their team called the Chiko Rollers, playing with this particular round. We've had a couple of scoreboard issues, but technology being technology, that's okay. Taking us through the game, we have, let me see who we've got on wheels. We've got Mushy. We have Miss Cray Cray. We have a Crush. We have... Can't quite see. I'm about to give you who is... My name is Sparks, by the way. If I got to enter myself, I'm very, very rude. And I would like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the traditional owners on the lands on which we meet and play today. I'd like to extend that acknowledgement to Indigenous peoples here in the building today and who may be watching us live via our live stream. We have, for the Chiko Rollers, we have 10 K to KO, 11 Nix Vicious, 112 Goose Lightning, 14 Kilbo Baggins, 16 Solid Rage, 444 Damage Patch Doll, 5 Calamity Jane, 666 Hurt Scout, 77 Crackerjack, and 9 Sticks and Stones. And for Ward, we have 007 Dames Bond, 12 Jiminy Hit It, 123 Generica, 1535 Tiny, 189 Squeals on Wheels, 191 Hades, 22 Casserole, 234 Thirsty Camel, 28 Unleashed, 2814 Brawler, 30 Tequila Slammer, 333 Juicy M Stuffer, 369 Striker, 570 Beers, 744 Salty, 77 Better You Sucker, 84 Shocktopus, 95 Vodka Chaser, and 99 Fury Rosa. I'd also like to acknowledge our wonderful team at Deadly Sports Plus, without whom we cannot play Derby. Deadly Sports Plus is a first aid organisation that provide first aid to sporting events like this, as well as many other events. And they also host trainings for first aid and sell some amazing first aid kits with some even incredible names. So if you're in Melbourne and you are thinking, we need to do a first aid course at work, why not give Deadly Sports Plus a call, and they may be able to help you out. They can also help you out at other sporting events that you may or may not be partaking in. And we're just getting a few technical issues sorted. We're coming to you today on the live stream from Maven Maud. And while we are not currently underway with our gameplay, I'd like to send some Derby love northwards to our friends and teams and families and supporters in southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. You guys have had a pretty hectic few days, and we know that while some of your teams were meant to come and were unable to come down here, you are here with us in spirit, and we are sending warm Derby love your way. We hope that you're all safe and well, and hopefully finding somewhere with a little bit of power so that you can get your derby fix for this week. I'd also like to thank the first responders, both paid and a volunteer, who have been working tirelessly this week and will continue to do so in the near future to keep you all as safe as possible, to clear the roads, to get your power back on. And I would also like to say thank you and send our love to the Australian Army this morning. They had a fairly nasty accident in Lismore yesterday, and while no lives were lost, it's still a bit of a shock, and there were still people hurt. And we just want to say thank you for being there. Thank you for doing what you do. And, you know, it just shows that, you know, things happen, and without your support, so much more could happen, if that makes sense. We are playing here at the Darebin Sports and Basketball Centre, located in Reservoir High School, which is Plenty Road in Reservoir for you Melbourne people watching live. We have 2 tracks running for the day. I am on this track for this game. Then I jump over to track 2, and then I believe I jump back here. I don't know. It gets crazy. We've currently had 1 full day of play yesterday, and speaking of gameplay, we've also had, I'll extend thanks to all the teams that have lent Brisbane City Rollers some players over the last few days. It has allowed them to, half of their team was down here already, and it has allowed them to successfully field a team in this tournament. And, you know, when you escape for another team, it's a great show of sportsmanship. And we are underway with this, our first jam, and we have a jamming for award. We have Jiminy Hit It, which is up there with one of my favourite derby names. Now, for the Chicos, we have Goose Lightning. Okay. And Jiminy Cricket has commenced scoring with a 4-pass scoring run. Awards pack doing an amazing job of holding Goose Lightning up. And a bit of a tumble. Okay. And with that, it was the ward of the skate had 8, with the Chiko Rollers failing to score. Okay, now lining up for our jammers are just having a look. Unleashed for Ward, and for the Chicos we have 3-9. 369 striker. Okay. Okay, and we have Sasson currently jamming for Chicos. of the state. Oh no, Chiko's a jam was called with Chiko rollers of 4 points. Award of the skate are currently on 12. Today we are very fortunate. I did mention to you about Deadly Sports Plus. They have kindly sponsored our penalty box for this weekend on this particular track. And that was a bit of a hard hit there from Generica. She had a bit of a tussle, and Chiko Baggins is jamming for Chiko's. But as I was saying, the folk at Deadly Sports Plus have sponsored our penalty box today, and they provide first aid services not just to the Derby world, but to many other events. They also have some amazing first aid kits, along with they are accredited first aid trainers. So if you're looking for a first aid kit, need some first aid training, or you have an event, send them, ahoy on either on their socials or give them a call and let them see what they can do for you. Now, that was a 12-point scoring run for Award of the Skate, who are now 24. And a Dragon City on 4 points. So this next round, we are going to have Jiminy Hit It again and Hallian. Oh, it's been a tussle, but Jiminy has successfully won lead status. Just watching Water the Skater playing a very, very defensive game and being successful in not only holding the Chiko blocker up, but in creating a situation where, because they've fallen off out of the track lines, having to recycle back to enter the pack. Now, I'm just watching, so... All right, so far on this particular jam, Jiminy Hit It has scored 16 points, and we still have up to 45 seconds left, so it's a very successful jam. And we've just had a star pass from the Chiko Rollers, which means that their pivot now becomes all right, so we have a timeout for the Chiko Rollers. And while I'm remembering, if you're local to Melbourne and you want to come and watch, we still have today until 7 p.m. 2 tracks running, which means lots more Derby. And we will also be here tomorrow morning with another 2 tracks running till, I believe, just after lunch. I know we're finishing early tomorrow. But also, if you are here, feel free to come and look at some of our stalls. We have the wonderful Pineapple page here, Talk Derby to Me. We also have some teams with team merch. And we all love our team merch, let's face it. But team merch is a vital way of assisting clubs to be able to travel for equipment, for venue hire, etc. And it's a way of showing a love for a sport that we all love. Many of us have a draw just for for derby tees and things like that that we acquire. But and when I say acquire, I mean we do pay for them. All right. So we're about to recommence with play under our now we are in an official timeout. Okay, so what was I saying? So yeah, as I said, so grab some team merch to show your love for the sport and show. So when the community say, "Hey, what's XYZ?" you can tell them. Now, I don't have many messages here because sometimes teams will give me shout outs to skaters who may be debuting, skaters who may be retiring or coming out of retirement, but I don't have any. However, I do know that we do have some officials that will meet some official milestones this weekend. So I'm shouting out to them because without officials, our game simply cannot go. Now, if you're thinking, I love this, where can I watch some more? Well, in Victoria, we have a tournament called Statewide Stampede, and our first round of Statewide Stampede will be held in Bendigo on Saturday, the 5th of April, up in Bendigo, somewhere in the showgrounds. But also, the other states here will have, I know there's Northern Rivers Revolt that will be coming up, and I know that the Brisbane Leagues have a tournament as well, and majority of teams have home games happening as well. I know Kingston City has one coming up fairly soon, so there will be plenty of opportunities. So look up Derby in your area and you can come and enjoy it in real life. Now, we have Tequila Slammer for Ward going up against Goose Lightning. Both packs are very, very tight. However, Tequila Slammer has successfully obtained lead. And with that has called the jam, holding Chiko's to 2 points. Oh, scoreless. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line. I'd also like to give a shout out to our but our organising committee. As you're aware, a certain gentleman named Alfred Sport everybody's party. Don't we all have an Uncle Alfred somewhere? And we've lost some teams. However, as late as Thursday night, our organising officials were playing with rosters, working out how many games we could get played, who could play where, when, officiate, the whole lot. So I'd like to thank them because I don't think having seen the game schedules, I don't think I would have liked to have had to rejig it on short notice. Now we have Chiko Rollers have the lead this particular jam. We have Kilvo Baggins. And Kilpo got 4 points on that round, but more importantly held W. Ward scoreless. Alrighty. We'll be getting underway again in a moment. Alright. So there's an official timeout happening, and you will find that timeouts will happen for track issues or if there's issues with scoreboard, officials, things like that. And as the day progresses, we will have, as the temperature, if once the temperature reaches a certain point, we do have heat breaks in accordance to heat policy. Yesterday was a very hot day here in Melbourne. We had 35 degrees, and in the stadium it felt like it was a lot hotter. Now, who do we have? We have Tequila Slammer and Sasson jamming this jam, and it was anybody's game, but Tequila Slammer has obtained a lead, while Ward are successfully holding the Chiko jammer up. Oh, now we have two. All right. All right. Okay, so we now have Sasson on their initial scoring run. And with that, the jam has been called, and we will have a new lot of skaters come out on track. So our scoreline currently is Award of the Skate on 61 versus the Chiko Rollers on 11. And we have another official time out. Not sure what it'll be about. However, lining up for the next jam will be Unleashed and Damage Patch Doll. As you've probably gathered by now, we all kind of have our hidden identities, our superhero identities. With Derby, one of the great things about Derby is the fact that we have some incredible Derby names. Well, what's a Derby name? Well, that's the name that we play under and call each other, kind of like a nickname. But your Derby name is something that you choose. And it has to fit. And I know some of the great Derby names have happened at a spur of the moment conversations. I myself am Sparks, and that just came out of a conversation where I got told, "Oh, you're sparkly tonight," and I thought, "Oh, Sparks, that's it." But we also have plays on movies, on words, on all sorts of things. So, and half the time with other teams, we don't even know people's real names. What are real names? Anyway, we are back off and playing, and Unleashed has come through and successfully obtained jam. So, and we have Damage Patch Doll jamming for Chiko's, and I'm just trying to see. I think Damage Patch Doll may even be in the box. I can't quite see. Oh no, it's Calamity June. So we have Unleashed and Calamity June. I think we must have had a star pass in there. Alrighty, and that's another jam. So we are at 70 points for Ward of the Skate, with the Chicos on 13. Now, we are operating under extreme heat down here in Melbourne, and we are very fortunate that we've had some fans brought down to our area for our players and officials to just keep some air circulating and hopefully keep them cool. Generica and Goose Lightning are jamming, with Generica having a lead status with Goose Lightning close on her heels. And with that, Generica actually called the jam, and neither team scored, so that was a tactical call. This has been a quite engaging and incredible show of strength and skill in this game this morning. And the Chiko's pack is really holding Tequila Summer back. But at the same time, so is Ward holding Sasson back. Okay, and Sassy has just done a star pass, giving the star. Oh, we had a bit of a pile up there on turn 3. No, 2. And Ward called it. 4 points for Ward, which take their score to 75. And Chiko's are still on 13. So we're going to have a Kilpo Baggins and Jiminy Hit It jamming, and we have Jiminy Hit It currently with lead status. And with that, Jiminy Cricket Hit It has called off the jam with another 3 points, and Chico's were held scores. We are just a tad under halfway through our first half of this game too, of our East Coast Clash. This is the second time the East Coast Clash has been run. 2 years ago in 2023, we held our first East Coast Clash in September, and that was at a different venue than here. And then last year we had the Great Southern Slam, which is a major national tournament. And so we've been fortunate enough again this year to have the East Coast Clash run again. Now we have Unleashed and Damage Patch Joel jamming. And Unleashed is in the lead, I want to say. Yep, Unleashed has lead. Now, so not only do we have our local state-based, city-based tournaments or home teams tournaments, we also have things like the Great Southern Slam, which is in Adelaide every second year. We now have East Coast Clash, which is in its second biannual event, and we have another one coming up later in the year that will run for the first time, which will be called Otter, which is open to all. Okay, so Damage Patch Doll has escaped through the pack, and Award have called the jam. Now I know a lot of people when they hear roller derby think it's a female oriented sport. Nah. In derby, you want to play, we'll find you a place to play. At East Coast Clash, we have an open gender division, and we have some very strong men's teams that play with us. We also have mixed teams, and we have our female oriented and based teams. But essentially, there is a place for everyone and anyone in derby. Derby is a safe, inclusive environment, and I tell you, some of the best people I've ever met have been derby people. Oh, that was a big hit on Damage Pat. Oh no, Goose Lightning. It was a massive hit, but she bounced and came flying back. And I'm just having to say, I have now found a way to determine when Goose Lightning is on track, because she has some amazingly bright skates. I get so much FOMO when I look at people's equipment here. So down on turn 3, there's a bit of a bottleneck with blockers holding jammers back, etc., and jammers trying to find their way through. And Tequila Summer has come around. Now, we don't just do the big tournaments, as I mentioned. And I forgot, the other big tournament that we have is Tropicalage. And we love Tropicalage. I'm yet to get there, and I'm hoping to this year. Tropicalage is held on the long weekend in September, October up in Brisbane, and is an amazing 3-day tournament. And more so, it'll be giving our Brisbane players who we missed playing with this weekend a chance to shine in their on their home team and their home state. Australia is also a very big player in the roller derby league, in that we are sending 2 teams to the World Cup in Austria later this year. We have our main representative team, and we also have a reserves team, which is always handy to have players in reserve for if things go awry or luggage goes awry. Now, we also have in Brisbane, yet again, Brisbane is Derby City this year, because Brisbane have the honour of hosting our Junior Roller Derby World Cup. So we will have our Australian representative team, and they will be playing junior teams from all over Australia. Not all over Australia, I apologise. All across the world, which give these players some amazing game experience. There is a very strong roller derby presence for juniors. I know we have Southeast Magic in Melbourne, which is run by, I've just gone like, which is of East Vic and South Sea Roller Derby, who run Southeast Magic. We also have our friends at Dragon City, who have their junior team appropriately named the Spring Rollers. So Spring Rollers grew up to become Chiko Rollers. Ballarat has a junior league, as does Warrnambool, and that's just the ones that I know of in Victoria. So if you have a child wanting to try a sport that's not the mainstream, that's not your cricket or your rugby or netball, have a look around. Find a junior derby league. You don't have to have experience, and especially in the juniors, they teach you everything you need to know. And whether you're a junior or a senior, or one of those first things is how to fall safely, how to stop safely. So you really, and it's an amazingly empowering and strong game. Now, I think we've just had some running track repairs happen at the moment, and I think this is partly due to the heat. But we've just heard our rolling whistle, which means that game is about to recommence. And we've had the 5-second call, so they are about to go. And I've just figured out one of the other refs has been back, because I don't have a ref roster here. So we have Jiminy Hit It and Kilbo Baggins and Chiko's. Okay. So, and Kilbo Baggins has also cleared for a scoring run. And with that, this jam has been called off. Masters of the Skate with 4 and the Chiko Roller 0. And once again, I would like to thank our friends at Deadly First Aid Plus for sponsoring our penalty box. And Assassin has just flown through and gotten lead for the Chiko Rollers. But our friends at Deadly Sports First Aid are wonderful supporters of our derby community. They provide us with first aid at many of our events. They also have first aid kits that they sell to the public, and they run first aid training courses. So, tell them Spark sent you. Tell them that Roller Derby sent you, because they are an awesome crew who we love dearly, but we never want to need to see them. But we always love seeing them when we don't need to see them. Now we have lining up for this is... Ooh, that was a bit of a... We have Generica and Damage Patch Doll, and we are in the last 10 minutes of this first half. This first half has been an extremely long first half, even though it's still only been the regulation time. Okay. And the ward tripod is working very hard to hold Damage Patch Doll back, with Kilbo Baggins paying our Deadly Sports Plus, not Kilbo Baggins, sorry, KTKO paying our Deadly Sports Plus penalty box a visit. Now, what's just happened is that there was a star pass. However, Ward has currently called the jam, and so a new one will begin. Okay, so who have we got this time? All right. We have a Goose Lightning. And Jiminy Hit It. And Jiminy Hit It's flown out of the pack. And KTKO is back on track. Oh, and an apex jump. We love apex jumps. Oh, what is an apex jump, I hear you ask? Well, essentially, it's a method of where you jump across the inside of the smallest curve of our track, and it's a way of gaining a little bit of extra position. So, and let's face it, apex jumps are amazing to watch. Alrighty, so we have Assassin, who obtained a lead with, I think, not sure who got lead. No, yeah, Assassin. Assassin achieved lead, and Assassin has done some massive, scored some points there. That's 4 points. Alrighty. So we're just over 5 minutes left in this first half, and then we'll be having a 20-minute break, I believe. I think our breaks are being extended a little bit due to the heat, and then we will be back for the second half. At the moment, our scoreline is Water the Skate 121, Chiko Rollers 20. Alrighty. So we have Jiminy Hit It coming around and Kilbo Baggins just being held up by the pack. Oh, and there was a bit of a heavy hit there. And Nick's Vicious is paying a quick visit to our Deadly Sports Plus penalty box. Oh, there's been a couple of heavy hits, and with that one, Jiminy Hit It has called the jam. Alrighty, now we are in a team timeout for Chiko Rollers. If you weren't watching our first game, or you may have been watching a game on track 2, you would understand. I'd just like to point out that a lot of the players here today not only have played for their 2 or 3 games, have played for their home team. They've got players that are guesting for other teams that are stepping up, especially for our Brisbane City Hit Squad, and they also officiate on skates. So the amount of energy that is spent and the strength that these players show is pretty darn amazing. Now we are in an official timeout while we do some roving track repairs. That'll be a bit of an issue we have to contest with today, primarily due to the heat. We all know that sometimes things that are supposed to stick don't stick when things get hot. So that's one little bit of an issue that we will have ongoing, possibly on both tracks. I can't speak for the other track because I'm not in. Okay. Now, I'm just having a look over on the other track. We have Gippsland Rangers roller derby team playing. Not sure who they're playing. Okay, and we have Unleashed, who has successfully obtained jam and jamming up against a Damage Patch Doll. Now Damaged Patch Doll was going to do a star pass but has decided not to. And And with that, the jam has been so we currently have a scoreline of 136 for Wards of the Skate versus 20 points for the Chiko Rollers. And although there is a big point differential, it doesn't actually take away on the level of play. Both teams are playing an incredible defensive game and holding their respective jammers up. And there's been a lot of quick fire jams. Alrighty. So we are in the last 2 minutes of this first half, which could still mean another jam. And as that jam has now been called, we will go to another jam. All right, so who have we got now? We've got Kilbo Baggins and Jiminy Hit It out on track, jamming for their respective teams. And Kilbo Baggins has a lead. So a great opportunity for Chiko Rollers to pick up some points. Alrighty. Oh, yep. Okay, and Perth have... Okay, so Chicos and Perth both have had players sent to our Deadly Sports Plus first aid penalty box, while Jiminy Hit It and Kilpo Baggins are still trying really hard. Okay, and that was an amazing turn there, Kilbo. Trying to score as many points in these last few seconds of this jam. Okay. Now this will be the last jam for this first half, and it's got all but 15 seconds left on the clock. We'll then be going to a time, half time. My tongue is not working today. All right, and with that, we've wrapped up our first half of Game 2. And my name is Sparks, and I will be with you later. I will see you in about 15, 20 minutes' time. Hopefully they'll give me the time. Alrighty. Okay, and welcome back to the second half of game 2 on this particular track. We have a few seconds left before we resume play. And I know myself and quite a few people want to do a massive thank you Rat Pack Ballarat Roller Derby. They just went over to the supermarket and got us icy poles. So if there's radio silence, it's because I am enjoying my icy pole before it melts, which, given the heat, it won't take long. All right. So now that we've recommenced, we have, I'm just trying to see. All right, we have Unleashed and Assassin jamming for their associated teams. Okay. Oh! That was so close to who was going to get out of the pack and get lead. And it was an almighty hit between the two jammers that decided who actually received lead. And just like that, the Wards of the Skate have got 1 point and called the jam, and the Chiko Rollers are on 35. Okay, so we have Jiminy Hit It and Kilbo Baggins fighting it out for jam. However, Jiminy Hit It has successfully been awarded lead. And that was there was some great defence just there on behalf of the teams there, and Lewin just blew our scoreboard projector, our screen over. And we have KTKO, who now has the star after a successful star pass. And with that, the jam has been called off. Now, as you know, we are experiencing some various and different forms of weather throughout the country today. And I know I'm sitting here feeling a northern wind that on a hot day. But what I would like people to do is to ensure that they're staying in tune with what's going on around them. So wherever you live, I know that you would have an incidents and emergencies page or ABC AM radio, and they will keep you up to date with any potential hazards or incidents in your area, especially in South Australia and Victoria, where it is very hot. And we've already had a few fires yesterday. Now, back to the gameplay. We have Tequila Slammer going up against Hit Scout. And the blocking team of Ward have quite successfully held Hurt Scout up. The defensive triangle has been incredibly strong for Ward, and Tequila Slammer just kind of cruised on by, and we'll be getting another set of points, which is 12. Now, we have had a Star Pass, and I believe the Star Pass was to Calamity June now has the Star Pass. And with that, this jam was called with the Water the Skate scoring 10 points for that particular round. As the day goes on, you will find that our games will be having extra timeouts due to excessive heat. And we'd like to thank the folk at VRDL who brought some of their fans down from their training venue to help keep players and officials cool. We really thank you for that. Now we have Generica up against Goose Lightning. And just like that, the jam was called with 4 points to Water the Skate, and we are in a official timeout, I believe. No, we have a team timeout to Ward, which will be giving the Chicos that brief opportunity of having a quick breathe. We would like to also thank our and I'd like to thank this beautiful person who just came and offered me some water. I'm very lucky I have a soft drink, a hot drink, and an icy pole. So, but yeah, this heat is really nasty, guys. And, you know, really, what better reason to stay here or stay in an air-conditioned room, air-conditioned library, wherever, and watch Derby. You watch us get all hot and sweaty for you, and you enjoy the cool. We have Unleashed and Sasson with the Stars at the moment, with Unleashed successfully achieving lead. Our scoreline currently is Wards of the Skate 201 to Chiko Rollers on 35. But there have been some big hits in this game. Okay, so Unleashed currently has 4 points. With having just scored another 8. The one thing I like about, well, one of the many things I like about Derby is Calamity June has just had the star pass to her, and Unleashed just called that jam off. But one of the things I like about Derby is it is a full contact sport, not gonna lie. We do push and shove each other, not gonna lie. However, the camaraderie between teams, whether it be having players guest skate for a team if they're short of players, or jumping in to help out in any way when they were short on things, to just generosity in that, the Ballarat Rat Pack went and bought icy poles and brought enough to offer some to other people. And Jiminy Hit It has just obtained lead for Ward, and Kilbo Baggins is just got out on her scoring run for Chiko Rollers. But as I said, especially on this weekend, we have a lot of players who are playing with Brisbane City Rollers hit squad. They had a few players who managed to get down before all the mayhem up there. And so we've had some wonderful teams loan their players to them so that they still get to play with us this weekend. And we are sending our love to the other teams that could not make it down. So Sun State and the Brisbane City Rollers, Red Kennedys and Ramones, we are thinking of you. Now we have Tequila Slammer. Just did So who is going to jam next? Well, let me see. So for Chicos we have Hurt Scout, and for Ward we have Generica. Alrighty. That I suppose really hit the spot. I'm not gonna lie. Now there's a lot of action happening around turn 3 at the moment, which both of these jammers are extremely strong jammers in their own right, and they're coming up with some extremely forceful blocking pyramids. And Wards of the Skate are currently on 227 with Chiko Rollers on 35. The thing about Derby is sometimes you look at a scoreline and you think, whoa, but it's so much more than what the scoreboard is, because it's not only the points that you score, but the points that you didn't give away. And both teams are playing amazing games here today. They've played yesterday in the heat, and today again we are in the heat where we've already hit 30 degrees here in Melbourne, and it's only going to get hotter. So physically it is taking a big toll on our players who both play and referee, etc. And at the end of that was a 20-point jam for Ward, who are now 235. And we have the Chiko Rollers on 35. And we're doing a team timeout for WARD. And I'm thinking we may even be having an official review called. I don't know. Or is it just a check? Alrighty. So I'd like to remind everyone, especially if you're in a state that's got the heat today, to make sure you keep yourself hydrated. And if you've got neighbours who may not be as mobile or as agile as yourselves, check in. If they may not have an air cooler, just check your head in, say, hi, how are you? We all do that together. I know I've appreciated the times when neighbours have called on my parents knowing that they didn't have aircon. So we are actually in an official timeout with more track repairs going on. And primarily this is just the heat. The adhesive's not adhesing as well as it should because everything and everyone appears to be melting. And as always, we're sending our best wishes to our fans, players, supporters, coaches, officials, etc., who are located in southeast Queensland and the Northern Rivers District of New South Wales. We hope that you are safe and that you are dry and that you have not encountered too much damage. We miss you desperately down here this weekend. However, Alfred spoiled the party, but we will catch up with you, I've no doubt, soon. Also, thank you to our first responders and the families and friends of our first responders who will be out there in some quite tough areas, doing what needs to be done to get the power on, keep people safe, tarp down roofs, remove trees. And we thank you for we thank those both paid and unpaid, especially our unpaid volunteers. And a lot of these people, these first responders, they leave their home to go and help you. So let's give them a mighty thank you as well. And I'd also like to thank the Australian Army and send our best wishes to those involved in yesterday's accident. It was nasty and it just shows how much rain, etc., the Lismore area has endured. We are thankful that it is not worse than it was, but we send healing messages to those injured and those supporting them. While we're on an official timeout, I'd also like to thank the wonderful crew at Deadly Sports Plus First Aid for not only sponsoring our penalty bin, but also for providing first aid services. They also provide first aid training, event first aid services, and sell first aid kits. So give them a look up on the internet and tell them Sparks sent you. Tell them you were watching East Coast Clash and that I sent you. This is not paid. This is not cash for comment, but genuinely they are a great bunch of people. And I must admit to really liking my first aid kit. Who else? I would also like to thank those that are taking photos of us today. And I'd like to thank Darebin Sports Complex for hosting us this long weekend. We have essentially taken over their whole building. Kind of like an invasion, but not really. And we've taken over the whole building, and so we would like to thank them for hosting us this weekend. We'd like to thank the team at VRD for getting one of their players to bring down some fans. That is helping us greatly. But also our officials, those both on and off skates, without whom we couldn't play, and whose job it is to make sure that we are playing within the spirit of the game. But most of all, we want to thank those of you who support your local derby. We have teams from most states here today, and we know that they have a lot of fans and supporters in their home state, and we thank them for tuning in via the live stream. We have Kilgo Baggins and Tequila Summer, and Tequila Summer has come flying out of the pack to be awarded lead. We are just a tad under halfway through this final half. Okay, and with that, Award have called off the jam with 4 points to Tequila Slammer. Coming out to jam this time now is Unleashed, and Unleashed will be going up against, and I'm trying to see, Goose Lightning by the look of it. Oh, and Goose Lightning is doing an amazing job there. Both packs are incredible at holding their respective jammers back. You know, sometimes it's about holding a player up as much as you can so that your player, and with that, Goose Lightning has lead. So that puts a bit of control back into the Chiko Roller's hands. Meanwhile, Chiko Roller, Water the Skate are down a player, or 2 players, I think, in the Deadly Sports Plus penalty box. So it will be an amazing opportunity for Chicos to pick up some points and control this particular jam. Now the award of the skate jammer has just come back on track. So we have both jammers on track now. Chico's defence has been quite tight in this particular jam, and they've been very successful in holding up Ward. And with that, Goose has called the jam, and they've scored a handy handful of points. They scored 8 points there to bring their score up to 43. Okay, so we are just on halfway through this second half of Game 2, Day 2 East Coast Clash. And we have the award of the skate playing, and their nailer, Jiminy Hit It, has just been sent to the penalty bin, which means we have Sasson jamming for the Chicos in what we refer to as a power jam situation. And that means when there is no other offensive player on the track, so it gives our offence time to get some points and get some control of the game. Though that was a mighty hit there from WRD from Beers, which has meant that Sassy has had to recycle. And Jiminy Hit It is back out on track. There are some big hits happening today, and thankfully we haven't had some nasty hits, but we've had some big hits, and it just shows you the strength and physicality of our game. We've had a star pass. Okay, to Nick Vicious from Sasson, and so Nick Vicious is coming around in control and going to grab some more points where possible. Alrighty. Ooh, that was a big hit. So at the moment, this is a jam that's gone the full 2 minutes because both jammers had been a tad naughty. But that's okay. We like that. And so now we're on an official timeout again. And I'm just going to turn this mic off for a moment while I have a couple of big mouthfuls of drink. Rightio. We are still in an official team. We're in official timeout still. I actually think it's a heat timeout because I've noticed our jam timer is no longer standing in the pack. Oh, I can hear that wind coming through the mic. I do apologise. So what I might do is I might just turn this mic off for a few minutes while we're having an opportunity to cool down and get some hydration and the track repaired, and we will be back soon. Helps if I press the right button. Alrighty, now our teams have had a quick heat break in accordance to heat protocols. And that's not just for players and officials' comfort, but it's also for their safety and their health, in that they've been given a chance to cool down. And Generica has successfully jumped out for lead up against Hurt Scout. Most of the games for the remainder of the day you will see have some heat policy breaks into them, which, considering we're March and it's an insane temperature. Okay, now Chiko Rollers have done a star pass, and so we now have Hellion taking... Oh, that was a nasty hit. Okay. And with that, the jam has been called. And we now have the award of the state on 227. up against Chiko Rollers on 47. We are, as like most sports, we do have various policies on when we can and can't play, and the heat being one of them, because our main aim is to keep both players, officials and supporters safe, healthy, and Goose Lightning has come out for the Chiko Rollers and has obtained lead. Meanwhile, Unleashed has yet to score. So Chiko Rollers scored 8 points on that round pass and got 55 points. Okay, so who do we have up now? We have Tequila Summer and Kilbo Baggins, and they are both fighting really hard to get through their respective packs, and the Chicos are really working hard at holding Tequila back. It's been a massive play. Okay, and we will be back. All right, we just have a quick break in play, and we will be back shortly. I don't have any music to play, and you don't need to hear me ramble. So when you see the pictures come up again, I'll be jumping on and taking you through the remaining little bit. Thank you. All right, now we're back, and thankfully, no harm has occurred to a player. So we have just over 9 minutes left in this second half of Game 2, Day 2, East Coast Clash. And currently you are watching Water the Skate, who are Western Australian Roller Derby, which is a great play on name for a team name. And they are up against Dragon City, who are a Bendigo-based team. And their team is named the Chiko Rollers. And to make it even better, Chicos have a junior team, and their junior team are the Spring Rollers. Gotta love plays on food. And now I'm getting hungry. Anyway, I digress. I hope wherever you're tuning into this live stream from, you are safe, well, dry, have power, so many different things, but also that you are being safe. And for the southern states, that might sound, why am I saying that? Well, it is very hot. Very hot. So, things like sunburn if you're down the beach. But why would you be at the beach when you could be watching Derby? Really? But also hydration levels. It is important to keep ourselves hydrated so that we don't become ill. Okay, and we're about to recommence play. Now, we have Assassin and Generica jamming this jam, and Generica has come out quite quickly from the pack, with Assassin being held up quite well and also being recycled to the back of the pack. Our scoreline currently is Woolworth of the Skate on 271 and Assassin on, Chiko Rollers on 55. Coming up on this track next, I believe, if I'm looking at the people, I believe we have VRDL, and I'm not sure who they are playing. It could be West Side, I'm not sure. As I said, we are running games on 2 tracks today, which means much more derby and much more fun. So if you're watching derby and you're thinking, can't see my friend's team, check out the other track. Now, we have, Assassin was lead and has called that jam, I believe. Oh, no, she mustn't have been lead. Okay, this jam will go the full 2 minutes. It can get confusing at times. But I'd also like to thank the wonderful Maven Mord for this live stream. Takes a lot to get live streams up and happening. It's both time and effort and equipment, and you need to have a very detailed working knowledge of live broadcasting. And we are so blessed to have some wonderful members of teams in the derby community who have that in spades and who give up their time so that we can come into your lounge room, your workplace, your library, wherever it is that you are watching us from online. It is due to their hard work, and especially when we're running dual tracks, that's double the work. Now we have Goose Lightning and Unleashed. And Unleashed has just been sent to the bin for a 4-run penalty, which means that it is now a power jam situation. And Goose Lightning is in control, and if she can get through the pack before Unleashed gets back on track, then she has control. Which essentially means that the game ball is in Goose Lightning's court or track, however you may want to describe it. And with that, they have called this jam because it has also meant whilst they didn't score, neither did the opposition. And that is a tactical thing that a lot of teams will do at times during the play. Now we've got just a tad over 5 minutes left, and we've still got time for more jams. Depends on how quickly or slowly they run. And then coming up after that will be VRDL, and I'm not sure. I'm wanting to say West Side Glory. Okay. Oh, and Goose Lightning has... Oh, no, it's Hit Scout. Hit Scout has not only gotten lead, but will pick up a couple of extra points from getting past players' hips. All right. So we're within the last 5 minutes. And now, for those of you watching at home on the live stream, after this, we've still got more games, but I'm going to be defecting. Yes, that's right. I'm leaving. Not really. I'm heading over to the other track for a bit of a change of scenery. And you will have some wonderful people here taking you through the next game, which will be VRDL who are a Victorian-based team. Oh, and I'm actually thinking it might be team. I'm not sure. All right, so we're back and playing, and we have Kilbo Baggins and Jiminy Hit It, with Jiminy Hit It successfully obtaining lead. With Kilbo Baggins out for her initial pass and now coming around to the pack for her scoring pass. And with that, the jam has been called, and we still have over 3 minutes on the clock, which still means time for more than one jam. Alrighty. Now, coming up next on this particular track will be VRDL, which is Victorian Roller Derby, versus Westside Roller Derby or Westside Glory. Again, play on names, but love it. Oh, and that was a... Whoa, the jammer on jammer is... Goose Lightning got lead. And it's just a rundown. They've flown out of the pack and called it. And we've still got over 2 minutes left, so we've still got time for one, maybe two more points. But that was one of the most flying starts I have seen in a long time. And on the other track will be an open gender game with Crash and Victorian Men's Roller Derby. All right. We are at 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Now, while we know an outcome, it'll be interesting to see how many jams get played in this, whether it'll be one full jam or a couple of small jams. But regardless, I've been sitting here watching some incredibly athletic people play incredibly hard, and it's an honour to have been able to take you through this game. Hurt Scout has gotten lead for the Chicos, and Unleashed has gone to pay a visit to the penalty bin. So it will be that Chicos have got a bit of control and a bit of an advantage, etc. And there's a lot of action up at turn 3. They've really, Water really holding her. Alrighty. We're going to have another jam. Alrighty. And this jam, believe it or not, may or may not be the last one of the game. We have 53 seconds left on the clock. However, if a jammer calls off the jam and it restarts, by the time the time clock gets to 0, we play that jam. Rightio. And we have 36 seconds on the clock. So realistically, this will be our final jam. My name is Sparks. It's been a pleasure being with you for this Game 2, Day 2 of East Coast Clash. Coming up next will be VRDL versus Westside Glory or Westside Roller Derby. Two very strong Victorian teams. And I look forward to taking you through other games, be it today or from another tournament stream. We have Unleashed has lead and a very happy team and has called the jam off. So we have an unofficial score of 296 to Dragon City 72. We are just waiting for the officials and scorekeepers and everyone to do their dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure everything is legit. And when the rolling whistle goes, we will have a official final score. So no. Rightio. And we are, as we get ready to congratulate our players from both teams on a very hard and challenging game in the heat, I'm about to say farewell because we're just waiting on the official score, which is not going to change the scoreline. And I have to go over to the other court. So, from me, Sparks, thank you for watching. From the players and supporters, or from the players especially, thank you for tuning in and watching and supporting your local roller derby, be it here in Victoria or whatever state or territory you are from. Supporting local derby is an awesome thing to do.